August 14th, a gift was handed to you with a smile. Archangel Michael says it was a disguise for dark energy meant to drain your finances. It's active. You have 2 minutes to break it. August 14th was not just another date on the calendar. Heaven had already marked this moment before you even knew it would arrive. It was not random. It was not ordinary. It was a divinely recorded day in which a spiritual exchange took place. While you moved through it unaware, Archangel Michael stood as witness, watching the moment a so-called gift was placed into your hands. On the surface, it looked harmless. The smile that delivered it seemed warm, even familiar. But in the spirit, there was movement. Subtle, quiet, and unseen to the natural eye. This was no innocent gesture. That gift carried more than physical form. It carried spiritual strings, woven carefully, tied to your finances, your peace, and your sense of stability. The smile was the wrapping paper. The words they spoke were the ribbon. But hidden beneath was a weight meant to attach itself to your flow of blessing and siphon it slowly, like a leak in the unseen realm. You must understand, not every smile carries light. Not every open hand is pure. The world will teach you to measure by appearances, but heaven measures by spirit. What was placed in your possession was meant to operate as a silent drain, opening a small, invisible door for the enemy to step into your provision. And not everyone will hear this warning the same way. This message will not cling to every ear, only to those whose spirit has already whispered, something is off. Perhaps you have already felt the unease in your chest, the sudden shifts in your finances, the restless dreams. You were not imagining it. This moment requires obedience, stillness, and openness to receive clarity and protection. If you rush past it, the moment will harden and the energy will take root. Heaven is speaking now because you are one of the few positioned to hear and respond. You are being invited to act before this invisible drain tightens. This is your alert, your spiritual siren, and your 2-minute window is approaching. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1441 is now activated. I, Michael, the Archangel of the Most High, speak now with the sword of truth in my hand and the urgency of heaven in my voice. The moment has already begun, and the time is counted in minutes, not hours. You have 2 minutes in the spirit to act, before the energy seeded into your life on August 14th locks itself deeper into your atmosphere. Hear me, you are not reading this by accident. The Spirit of God has drawn you to this word, because the enemy has drawn near to your provision. On that day, the gift seemed wrapped in light. Its presentation was so ordinary, so gentle, so deceptively harmless, that you did not see the dark thread sewn into it. The air may have carried laughter. The words exchanged may have been polite. But in the unseen realm, I saw the intent, a spiritual device placed in your hands, timed to begin its work the moment you accepted it. This is not coincidence. This is not a vague warning. This was a targeted spiritual strike, designed with your name on it. They did not simply choose August 14th, they were moved to act in that hour, because heaven's calendar for your life was on the verge of releasing something. The attack was meant to block what was coming, to create a crack in the wall so your blessing would leak before it ever reached your storehouse. If your heart is pounding now, if you feel that pull in your spirit, then it is you this message was sent for. Because heaven is not sending this to the masses. The warning is selective. It is a sword that divides truth from deception, light from shadow, and the faithful from the complacent. I tell you now, the sweetness of that gift was a covering. Its smile was a mask. They may not even be fully aware of the role they played, for darkness often uses willing hands without full understanding. But whether they knew or not, the effect remains the same. It is an active current, pulling at your finances, your stability, and your peace. This is why I come to you now, not later. The enemy's plan is not to strike in one violent blow, but to slowly drain, to quietly exhaust, until you begin to doubt yourself, your provision, and your God. That is why you must break it before it embeds. I speak this into your hearing. In the next moments, heaven is watching for your alignment. If you choose stillness, if you choose to heed the warning, the device will be dismantled. But if you shrug it off, the energy will tighten and the drain will deepen. This is not fear. It is fact in the spiritual laws that govern the unseen. Let your heart be steady. Let your spirit rise. I am here to cut what was tied to you. And I will not leave until the cords are severed, the gate is closed, and the drain is sealed. You have been marked for protection, but protection must be received, not assumed. This is your call to open your hands, to release what carries shadow, and to speak life into your finances before the shadow finishes its work. The seconds are passing. Your spirit already knows the truth. Do not let this warning slip through your fingers. Stand, speak, and break. The heavens are ready to move with you now. Type "I am covered" in the comments if you received this message. Blessing code 1771 is now released over you. They smiled, but their spirit trembled in the presence of yours. You saw it, not with your eyes, but with that inner knowing you have learned to trust. Something in their tone didn't match their expression. Something in the atmosphere shifted when the gift exchanged hands. In the natural, everything seemed warm and cordial. But in the spiritual, I, Michael, saw the flicker of unrest ripple across their countenance, like a shadow trying to hide from the sun. The truth is this: jealousy wears many masks. Sometimes it dresses as kindness. Sometimes it cloaks itself in generosity, bending its lips into a smile so practiced that even the most discerning eyes could miss the fracture beneath it. But your spirit, your spirit felt the tremor. You may have brushed it off at first, telling yourself you were imagining it. You may have silenced the nudge, thinking it was uncharitable to suspect. Yet now, as you read these words, that moment is replaying in your mind, sharper and clearer. There have been whispers, not always loud, not always direct, but whispers nonetheless. Conversations where your name was handled without the care it deserves. Glances exchanged when you entered the room. The quiet sting of envy, disguised as casual questions about your life, your work, your finances. And the gift was the culmination of those silent watchings. It was not a token of goodwill, but an anchor sent to slow your ship in the waters of blessing. Some of them smile at you but wince at your success. They laugh with you, but secretly hope you do not rise too far. They may not openly strike, but they release subtle delays, words spoken in the shadows, intentions sown in small acts that seem harmless, yet carry weight in the spiritual realm. The gift was one such act. Do not let the enemy convince you this is paranoia. The unease you feel is the Holy Spirit's protection, urging you to lift your head and look beyond the surface. Betrayal rarely announces itself with a trumpet. It often enters quietly, through the open door of familiarity, carrying the scent of friendship but the intention of theft. Right now, your emotions may be tangled. Part of you shocked, part of you angry, part of you unsure how deep this goes. That's exactly where the enemy wants you to stay, caught in confusion, too distracted to act. But I tell you this, clarity is breaking through. Every layer of disguise is being peeled away in the light of this message. You are beginning to see the threads that connect the events of August 14th to the subtle shifts in your life since then. That sudden unexpected expense. That strange delay in payment. That restless dream you had days after. All of these were symptoms of the spiritual drain activated when you accepted that gift. The enemy does not want you to connect the dots. But I am here to place the dots in your hand and draw the line for you. This is not about mistrusting everyone. It is about recognizing when a smiling hand carries a shadow and taking authority before it takes root. This is the moment to let the disruption do its work, not to leave you in fear, but to move you into discernment and action. Heaven is uncovering this because you are meant to break it and rise above it. The smile they gave may have been false, but the victory you will walk in will be unshakably true. Type "I am alert" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1551 is surrounding you now. You've just felt the sting of revelation, but remember, every warning from heaven is a doorway to victory. When you stand with this mission, you're not just helping words go out. You're helping chains break off someone who doesn't yet know the truth. Every seed you sow becomes light in a darkened place, oil for the fire that keeps God's word burning across nations. I hear the Lord saying, when you open your hand for my work, I will open the windows of heaven over your house. I'm personally inviting you, as this word has reached your spirit today, to step into that flow. Partner with this mission through Super Thanks, channel membership, or by sowing directly via PayPal. A link is in the video description. Your obedience now is not just generosity, it is prophecy in motion. Release it, and watch the blessing multiply. Move now, and heaven will move for you. This is not a misunderstanding. This is not an overreaction. This is war, and the battlefield is not your living room, your workplace, or your bank account. It is the unseen realm, where destinies are fought over and blessings are intercepted. On August 14th, the so-called gift placed in your hands was not a trinket, not a token, not a gesture of goodwill. It was a gate, a crafted spiritual entry point. Through it, a current of draining energy was meant to attach itself to you, to your finances, to your mental peace, to the river of provision heaven has opened over your life. The enemy is not foolish. He will not always come in obvious form. He will use what is familiar, what feels safe, what feels personal, because he knows a door opened willingly is stronger than one force. That is why the hand that gave it was not a stranger's hand, but a familiar one. That is why the smile was there, why the words were soft. And I, Michael, saw it all. I stood at your side, waiting for the exact moment heaven would allow the exposure to begin. That moment is now. Why you? Because you are marked. Because you carry a calling that cannot be hidden. Because your life holds influence in the spirit far beyond what you see in the natural. The enemy saw the movement of angels in your direction. He saw the financial doors that were about to swing open for you. And he acted, not with an open strike, but with a hidden seed of sabotage. This is not about the object itself, but about the spiritual contract it carries. In the realms of light and darkness, actions create agreements. A gift is not always just a gift. It can be a covenant in disguise. That moment on August 14th was meant to be an agreement. I will take, you will lose. I will drain, you will weaken. But hear me, heaven is not passive. Heaven will not watch in silence while one of God's chosen is tethered to lack. That is why this word is coming to you before the contract can fully mature. This is a test of discernment. Will you see beyond the wrapping paper? Will you recognize the spirit behind the hand? Will you obey the instruction to act immediately, even if you don't have all the details? This is where your obedience becomes your weapon. Heaven's protection is already leaning toward you, but it waits for your agreement. You must align with the truth and reject the seed planted on that day. I tell you plainly, the eyes of heaven are on you now. This is not to frighten you. It is to awaken you. Your finances are not just numbers on a screen. They are resources entrusted to you for kingdom purposes. Your peace is not just an emotion. It is the atmosphere in which your calling flourishes. The attack was not random. It was aimed at the exact places the enemy knew you could not afford to lose ground. But here is the truth that crushes the darkness. The enemy's plan is already being unraveled. As you hear this, angelic forces are drawing close, ready to sever what was tied to you. They will not act without your yes. They will not override your will. You must choose to see the gift for what it was and stand against it. This is your moment to turn the tide. To say, no more will I carry what was meant to harm me. No more will my finances be open to silent theft. To break the gate, to close the door, and to reclaim the ground the enemy sought to take. Remember, you are not a passive observer in this conflict. You are a warrior wrapped in divine favor. And warriors do not hesitate when the trumpet sounds. The trumpet is sounding now. Type "I am a warrior" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1881 is now activated for your victory. Hear me clearly. The energy attached to that gift is not passive. It is active, moving, searching for the deepest channel of your finances to latch onto. It was planted with intent, and if it is not confronted, it will not simply fade away. I, Michael, have been sent to tell you, within 72 hours, the drain deepens. The current strengthens. The agreement begins to fortify itself in the unseen, making it harder to break. Right now, the attack is in its earliest stage, subtle enough to ignore if you let yourself be distracted, quiet enough that you could dismiss it as coincidence. But in the spiritual realm, it is like a root pushing into the soil of your provision, digging deeper with every passing moment. At the 72-hour mark, that root becomes harder to pull without damage. This is why heaven's message to you is urgent. This is why I am speaking now, not tomorrow. Someone, and I say this with authority, is preparing to lay claim to what belongs to you. It may come through sudden expenses, an unexpected financial loss, a payment withheld, or an opportunity quietly diverted from your hands. They may not physically take from you, but in the spirit, they are trying to sign their name over resources that heaven marked with your name long before August 14th. There is a spiritual pressure building right now, like a net tightening around a fish. If you do nothing, the net will close, and the struggle to break free will intensify. The one who smiled at you is not acting alone. Behind them are spiritual forces of jealousy, lack, and contention, pushing them forward, feeding the energy of the gift they gave. This is not a casual act. It is an assignment. The enemy works in patterns. First comes the planting, a seemingly harmless act with hidden intent. Then comes the claiming, a circumstance in the natural that reflects what has been stolen in the spirit. And finally comes the binding, a cycle of delays and lack that makes you believe you are simply unlucky or under pressure, when in truth you are under a spiritual siphon. But I am here to tell you, the claiming stage can be stopped before it begins. The net can be cut before it closes. The 72-hour countdown is not to terrify you. It is to activate you. The moment you take spiritual authority, the drain begins to dissolve. The moment you refuse the agreement, the enemy loses the legal ground he was attempting to secure. Do not underestimate the seriousness of this moment. The heavens are watching to see if you will rise or remain passive. The enemy is watching to see if you will notice. I am standing by, sword drawn, ready to strike on your behalf, but you must give the command through your obedience. If you feel a pressure in your chest as you read this, if you sense the Holy Spirit stirring inside you, it is because this word is for you specifically. Heaven is not in the business of sending false alarms. You are being called into a moment of decision. Break it now, or fight a deeper battle later. 72 hours is not long in the natural, but in the spirit, it is enough time for both the enemy's plan to lock in or heaven's protection to seal you. Which side of that you stand on will be determined by what you do next. I tell you with certainty, this is not over yet, but it will be, if you move now. Type "I break the drain" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1991 is now covering your finances with divine fire. Be still. This is the first command heaven gives you in this moment. Be still, say nothing to them, and let Michael work. Do not confront in the natural what must be broken in the spiritual. The enemy thrives on reaction. Your stillness frustrates his timing. Do not hand him more energy by speaking hastily or revealing that you see the trap. You are not called to engage the giver in conversation. You are called to engage the God who sees the giver's heart. I tell you now, silence is your weapon. In the spirit, silence is not weakness. It is strategy. Every word you withhold denies the enemy the chance to twist your speech into an open door. Heaven's courtroom does not require your shouting. It requires your agreement with divine truth. When you stay still and silent in the natural, the angels move unhindered in the spiritual. Here is your protective guidance. Tonight and for the next 3 days, pray over your finances with specificity. Not vague blessings, but precise declarations. Say, by the authority of Jesus Christ, I seal every gate to my resources. I break every cord of drain, every hand of theft, and every spiritual siphon attached to my provision. I command restoration of all that belongs to me, in the name of the Most High. Speak it aloud, not as a request, but as a decree. Take a moment now and recall where you placed that gift. Do not keep it near your sleeping place. Do not place it where you store important papers or valuables. If possible, remove it from your living space entirely. If that is not possible yet, anoint it with oil and speak a word of disconnection over it, declaring it void of any spiritual agreement. Guard your atmosphere. In this window, the enemy will attempt to distract you with small inconveniences, sudden calls, or moments of irritation designed to pull you from your place of authority. Resist it. Every time you feel the agitation rise, step into prayer. Your prayer in this period is not just conversation with God, it is legal binding in the spirit realm. Understand this. You are not begging for protection. You already have it. The act of prayer in this moment is not to convince heaven to move, but to align your will with the move heaven has already begun. Archangelic forces are surrounding your financial gates even now. But your spoken agreement is the final lock on the door. Do not underestimate your own authority. The enemy counted on you feeling helpless, on you believing you are too small to matter in the grand schemes of spiritual warfare. That is a lie. You are not only seen by heaven, you are defended by heaven. When you open your mouth in alignment with the will of God, the darkness shudders. When you speak life over your resources, the cords begin to loosen. This is your call to stand without fear. Let your heart be calm, your mind be steady, and your words be few but powerful. Heaven does not need noise. It needs precision. You are the key holder of your own gates, and tonight you will lock them. When this is over, and it will be over, you will look back and see how silence saved you, how obedience shielded you, and how authority broke what was meant to hold you captive. But that outcome depends on what you do now. Stand still. Pray specifically. Guard your gates. And watch as I, Michael, strike down every spirit assigned to drain you. Type "My gates are sealed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2022 is now securing your resources. You are not powerless. You have never been powerless. The enemy only hoped you would believe you were. What happened on August 14th was not the end of something. It was the beginning of your unveiling. They saw you as easy to distract, easy to disarm with a smile and a token. They believed they could slip something into your life unnoticed, that they could attach a drain to your finances without resistance. But they underestimated the rank you carry in the spirit. You are not just another believer walking through life. You are marked, anointed, and carrying an assignment that makes the enemy nervous. That's why the attack was subtle. That's why it was masked as kindness. The enemy knew that a direct assault would fail, so he wrapped it in something your human heart would accept without suspicion. But what he didn't calculate was this: heaven watches over its own. And when you are chosen, the trap is always exposed before it can consume you. Now is the moment to shift your posture. You are not a cornered prey trying to escape. You are the hunter whose authority has just been awakened. You are the one with the sword in your hand, the one with the name of Jesus on your lips, the one whose prayers move angels into action. The enemy hoped you would crumble in confusion, but instead you are rising in discernment. Think about fire. When it is pressed, when it is choked, when it is surrounded, it doesn't vanish. It concentrates. It burns hotter. That's you in this moment. The gift meant to weaken you has become the spark that is igniting a greater flame within you. Your prayer life is sharpening. Your discernment is sharpening. Your ability to sense spiritual shifts is growing stronger by the hour. And think about the eagle. Storms do not drive the eagle down, they lift it higher. The winds that were meant to buffet you are becoming the very winds that will carry you into your next elevation. The enemy forgot that when heaven allows a test, it is not for your destruction, but for your promotion. This attack is going to backfire. You are going to come out of this with more clarity, more authority, and more spiritual momentum than you had before. The very area the enemy targeted, your finances, will become the very area heaven chooses to bless and overflow. You will not only have enough, you will have more than enough, and you will know it is because God turned what was meant for harm into the fuel for your breakthrough. Let this shift sink in. You are not running from something. You are walking toward your next level. The shadows that tried to touch you are already retreating because they realize they have been seen. The fear they tried to sow in you is crumbling into confidence. Your words are heavier now, your spirit louder in the unseen. So stand tall. Speak with authority. Thank God not only for revealing the trap, but for using it to remind you who you are. The enemy will remember this day as the day his plan collapsed. Heaven will remember it as the day you stepped into your true spiritual stature. The war cry is no longer just from me. It is rising from within you. And that sound alone is enough to send every power of lack fleeing from your gates. Type "I rise above" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing Code 2112 is now declaring your unstoppable elevation. I, Michael, speak this truth without hesitation. The reason the August 14th gift was sent to you is because heaven had already decreed a release in your favor. It was no random gesture. It was no meaningless exchange. It was a calculated move to interfere with a divine transaction that was already in motion toward you. In the courts of heaven, your name has been written into the ledger of release. Before you even knew to pray for it, a blessing was authorized, a financial shift, a provision, so exact and timely that it would confirm God's hand on your life. This is why the enemy moved when he did. He saw the angelic couriers carrying what belongs to you. He saw the scrolls of release with your name on them. He saw the gates opening in the spirit, and in desperation, he tried to place a gate of his own, one that would drain before you could receive. But hear this: what heaven writes cannot be erased by hell. The only tactic the enemy has is to delay, distract, and weaken your focus so you stop contending for what is yours. That gift was meant to do exactly that, to give him a legal foothold to say, "They accepted my token, so I have the right to touch their provision." But the moment you break the agreement, that claim is shattered. Your blessing is not just money. It is the lifting of weight. It is the opening of opportunity. It is the increase in resources that will allow you to do what God has put in your heart without constant fear of lack. And the enemy knows, if you step into that level, you will not only be secure, you will be dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. That is why this word is coming to you now, to reveal that you are standing in the moment before your promotion. The attack you experienced is actually confirmation that the blessing is near. The darkness would not bother with you if nothing was on its way. So, take courage. The enemy's plan is already unraveling. The gates of release are still open. The angels assigned to your provision are still on the move. And your part is simple: stay aligned, stay obedient, and declare that no counterfeit gift will replace what heaven has ordered for you. The moment you step into this agreement with heaven, the ledger becomes active. The blessing is transferred from in process to in hand. You are in the unlocking moment. Do not hesitate. This is the space between promise and possession, and you are closer than you think. Type "I receive my release" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing Code 2332 is now initiating your financial breakthrough. The revelation you've just received isn't only for you. It's for every soul heaven wants to rescue from unseen traps. When you sow into this mission, you're not funding words, you're fueling warfare in the spirit. Your giving becomes a key that unlocks freedom for someone else who is right now under the weight of deception. I hear the Lord declaring, "As you pour into my work, I will pour back into your storehouse, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." If your spirit feels the urgency of this moment, don't wait. Stand with us through Super Thanks, channel membership, or by sewing directly via PayPal. The link is in the video description. Your seed is not just generosity, it is prophecy fulfilled, and heaven will mark it. Move now, and your release will be met with overflow. The time for hearing is now shifting into the time for doing. You have been warned, you have been shown, and now you must act. Destiny is not a passive path you drift into. It is a covenant you step into with intention. This is that moment. Heaven is leaning over your life. The angels are waiting for your command, and the courts of the Most High are holding open the window for you to align. Understand this. Heaven waits for your yes, not your delay. Delay is agreement with the enemy. Silence in the moment of activation is surrender of authority. But when you speak, when you declare, when you reject what was sent against you, the sound is not just heard in your own ears. It reverberates in the spirit, shaking loose the claim the enemy tried to fasten on August 14th. I, Michael, tell you plainly, you must verbally break this energy now. Words are not mere expressions. They are binding tools in the unseen realm. Just as the enemy attempted to bind you through the words and action of that gift, you will now lose yourself through the decree of your own voice. Say this aloud, even as you read. In the name of Jesus Christ, I reject and renounce every spiritual attachment sent to me through the gift given on August 14th. I break every cord, cancel every drain, and close every gate the enemy attempted to open. I reclaim my finances, my peace, and my provision. I align myself with heaven's ledger of release, and I declare that nothing and no one can steal what God has appointed for me. My gates are sealed, my flow is restored, and my destiny is untouchable. Amen. As you speak this, picture the cord snapping. Picture the energy reversing. Picture the angels moving into your atmosphere, retrieving what was siphoned and returning it to you in multiplied form. Do not treat this as imagination. Treat it as reality, because in the spiritual realm, this is exactly what is taking place. Now, act in the natural as a sign of your faith. Do something prophetic to seal this moment. It may be anointing the entrances of your home. It may be moving that gift out of your space. It may be sowing into God's work as a sign of the exchange you are making, releasing what carried darkness and receiving what carries light. Whatever it is, make it deliberate. Make it an offering of alignment. The enemy's tactic was subtle. Your response must be decisive. Heaven will not hold back your blessing once you step fully into agreement with it. The moment you move, the transaction in the spirit shifts from pending to release. Do not underestimate this moment. May you receive warnings but fail to act, thinking the mere knowledge of the danger is enough. It is not. Knowledge is the map, but action is the journey. You have the map now. Take the journey. Your destiny is not fragile. It is not easily destroyed, but it requires your participation. Heaven is not just delivering you from the August 14th trap. It is using this moment to sharpen your awareness, deepen your authority, and prepare you for the larger gates you will walk through. This is the training ground for the next level of your calling. When you look back on this week, you will remember it as the week you stood in your authority and saw the immediate fruit of obedience. And those who tried to stop you, both in the natural and in the unseen, will realize they picked the wrong target. You have acted. You have spoken. And now the heavens move. Type "My destiny is active" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing O2442 is now unlocking your divine promotion. Even as you read these words, there is movement in realms you cannot see. The natural world may appear still, the clock ticking, the room quiet, but in the spirit, there is activity so fierce and so precise that if you could witness it with your eyes, you would be overwhelmed. The breaking you declared has already initiated a divine transaction. The moment you spoke the words in section Roman 9, something shifted in the courts of heaven. I, Michael, stand now in those courts as a witness and an enforcer. Before the throne of the Most High, the case concerning you is being reviewed. The accusations of the enemy are being silenced one by one. His claim that you agreed to the drain through accepting the August 14th gift has been met with the truth of your verbal renunciation. That truth is not just recorded in sound. It is written into the eternal records, sealed by the blood of the Lamb. In this silent exchange, angels are not rushing or scrambling. They move with the precision of those who know the outcome is already determined. Some are retrieving what was siphoned, tracing the flow of provision that was diverted, and pulling it back into your possession. Others are standing at your gates, reinforcing the seals you spoke into existence. Their swords of light are drawn, and no shadow can pass. Picture it. The enemy had set up a pipeline from your storehouse to his. That pipeline is now broken. The flow is reversing, not as a trickle, but as a torrent. What was taken is coming back, carrying with it interest in the form of opportunities, favor, and unexpected provision. You may not see the full weight of it yet, but in the unseen, the transfer is complete. It is only a matter of time before it manifests in the natural. This is not just about money. This is about restoring every intangible the enemy tried to weaken: your confidence, your peace, your ability to dream without fear of lack. Heaven is meticulous. The restoration will not leave one piece missing. Every ounce of energy, every open door, every delayed blessing is being reassigned to its rightful owner, you. And yet, you will notice something about this exchange. It is silent. There will be no grand announcement from your enemies. They will not tell you they lost what they tried to take. But you will feel it. You will see the signs. The sudden lifting of pressure. The unexpected arrival of what you needed. The peace returning to your nights. The opportunities arriving without strain. That is how heaven works. Decisive in the spirit, graceful in the natural. Do not confuse silence for inaction. The silence is protection. If the enemy knew every detail of what was being restored to you, he would try to interfere. That is why much of what heaven does for you happens behind the veil, away from the reach of interference. And here is the deeper truth. This case in heaven's courtroom is not just about returning what was taken. It is about setting a precedent in the spirit realm that you cannot be touched without consequence. Every time the enemy attempts a similar tactic in the future, this record will stand as a witness against him, declaring, "This one belongs to the Most High, and they cannot be drained or delayed without immediate reversal." You are not walking away from this with a mere restoration. You are walking away with a spiritual ruling in your favor that will guard you in the seasons to come. The August 14th attack has not only been overturned, it has been used to fortify your defenses for the future. Let the enemy watch from a distance as the resources he tried to claim are carried back into your hands. He will not be able to stop it. It is sealed. It is settled. And it is yours. Type "My restoration is sealed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2552 is now marking your victory in heaven's records. The Most High has not only restored what was taken, He has issued a decree of reversal. And when heaven reverses a matter, it does not return it in the same condition or quantity it left. I, Michael, have been sent to tell you, what they sent to harm you will return to them sevenfold. Every drop they tried to drain from you will now be extracted from their own storehouses, not by your hand, but by the righteous order of God. Understand this. Divine justice is not merely balancing the scales. It is tipping them so heavily in your favor that the enemy regrets ever touching you. In the courts of heaven, the evidence was presented. The gift of August 14th, the intention behind it, the drain it activated. The verdict has been rendered: illegal entry, unlawful claim, immediate reversal, and multiplied return. The angels are now executing this judgment. What the enemy sought to withhold from you will not only come back, it will arrive pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The very gate that was meant to funnel loss into your life will now funnel abundance into your possession. The same network of circumstances the enemy tried to use against you will now be repurposed for your increase. You will see signs of this reversal soon. There will be unexpected credits where you thought there was debt. Delayed opportunities will suddenly reappear. People who once overlooked you will reach out, compelled by a shift they cannot explain. Payments will arrive sooner than expected. Resources you thought were gone will resurface in better form. And it will not be coincidence. It will be the hand of God, marking the reversal with precision. This is not just financial. The justice of God touches every part of your life the enemy tried to weaken. Relationships strained under the pressure of lack will be restored in peace. Your energy, which has been weighed down by constant strain, will return in waves. Your creativity and vision, which the enemy hoped to suffocate, will breathe again, and this time with more clarity than before. Do not be surprised if the giver of the August 14th gift begins to experience unrest. This is not for you to gloat over, nor for you to interfere with. Leave them in the hands of God. The discomfort they feel will be the weight of the spiritual exchange, the return of what they sent, now multiplied. This is the law of sowing and reaping at work, and it will serve as a testimony that heaven defends its own. Remember, the sevenfold return is not limited to a single stream. It will flow through multiple avenues, some you expect, some you never imagine. It will come through both the natural and the supernatural. And it will continue until the full measure of justice has been completed. Lift your head and walk with the confidence of one who is vindicated. The enemy's plot has not only failed, it has made you richer in resource, deeper in discernment, and stronger in spiritual rank. This reversal is a public statement in the unseen realm. Touch not the anointed of God. Mark this day. This is the turning point where the August 14th attack became the foundation for your increase. This is the day you will reference in future battles as proof that what the enemy meant for evil, God will always turn for good. Justice is not coming. Justice is here, and it carries your name. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2662 is now sealing your sevenfold return. Hear this as I, Michael, speak over you now. The gift of August 14th was a trap, but it has been exposed, dismantled, and reversed. What the enemy planned as a silent drain has been turned into a loud testimony of God's protection. Your finances are sealed. Your peace is shielded. Your gates are guarded by angelic sentinels who will not slumber. The pipeline that carried loss has been destroyed, and the streams of provision are flowing in purity once again. The court of heaven has ruled in your favor. Every attempt to claim what belongs to you has been denied. Your resources are not only secure, they are under active multiplication. You are not leaving this battle weakened. You are leaving it stronger, sharper, and more aware of the authority you carry in Christ. So walk forward now with the confidence of one who is sealed. You are seen. You are defended. You are untouchable in your purpose. Let this moment be a marker, the day heaven intercepted an attack in progress and turned it into your promotion. No matter what storms may come in the future, remember this truth: you do not walk alone. The God who warns you is the same God who protects you, and the same God who restores you beyond measure. Your blessing is not fragile. Your calling is not negotiable. And your life is not a playground for the enemy. From this day forward, let discernment guide you, let obedience guard you, and let praise go before you. You are not merely surviving. You are advancing. I release now the blessing of financial sealing over you, that every coin, every opportunity, every open door heaven has ordained for you will remain in your possession and be multiplied for the glory of God. Your storehouses will not run dry. Your hands will not be empty. And your future will not be delayed. This is the word of the Lord over your life today. You are sealed. You are seen. You are untouchable in your purpose. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2772 is now covering you completely. This word was not just for your hearing. It was a prophetic act for your life. And there are others who are still walking under silent drains, unaware of the traps laid against them. When you stand with this mission, you become part of God's rescue plan for those lives. Every seed you sow is a sword in the hand of heaven, breaking chains where your eyes will never see. I hear the Spirit declaring, "Those who fund my work will never lack my provision." If this ministry has been your watchtower and your warning system, step into the flow now. Through super thanks, channel membership, or by sowing directly via PayPal link in the description. Do it as a prophetic declaration that you are not only delivered, but a deliverer to others. Move now, and let heaven multiply back into your storehouse.